tip number one for anyone who's trying to learn how to become a professional baker, and if you already have a bakery or if you're selling your baked goods and you want to bake 2, 3, 4 batches all at the same time, convert your recipes into grams. Like this is a perfect example of a book that has both the household measures and the weight in grams. See, this is so easy to quadruple the recipe or double or triple the batch because it's written in grams. So all you have to do is multiply the grams. Like for today, I'm going to make 2 batches of this sponge cake. So my orange juice is going to be 60 grams. Lemon zest is 8 grams. Vanilla, 12. 576 sugar. And 200 grams of cake flour. And the most important thing are the eggs. See the weight of the yolks and the egg whites. And also the cream of tartar, because you cannot make a mistake with your cream of tartar. If you use too much cream of tartar, it's going to be sour. Okay, so that's my first tip for you beginning bakers out there. This is already 200 grams of flour because it says here 100, so this is 200. This is 576 grams of sugar. My eggs are already 16 pieces because I need 5 plus 3. So that's 8 plus 8, it's 16. I'm already preheating my oven while I'm separating the eggs and the egg yolks and the egg whites for the sponge cake. When I separate my egg whites, I normally use one smaller bowl. So I won't contaminate the bigger batch of the egg whites with a broken egg yolk or a rotten egg. Like so. And then you put your egg whites there. Okay. I'm putting some of the egg yolks here in the saucepan to make the custard cream for the cake. I'm going to whip the egg whites with some sugar and cream of tartar until it's stiff, slightly stiff peaks, but not really stiff and dry peaks. I already finished creaming the egg yolks and the sugar using my other mixer. So this is the egg yolks and sugar. Then I added 60 grams of lemon juice right here. And look at how creamy it turned out. I'm now going to fold my egg whites. Make sure there's a towel at the bottom. So you have to work fast. And that's the reason why I'm also, I preheated the oven beforehand because this cannot wait. When it comes to pound cakes and other muffins and cakes, you can make the dough wait, or the cake batter wait. You can let it sit on your counter for an hour and nothing bad will happen. But it's different when it's sponge cakes and chiffon cakes. So this is basically like a chiffon cake. So I have a video that I made several years ago, so you can check that out too. I'm not following exactly the recipe. It says put the cake in a hot pan. I won't do that. I don't know why you're supposed to do that. This is a 16-inch spatula because I like to bake chiffon cakes and sponge cakes. That's why I have a lot of these spatulas on hand. Try not to deflate the egg whites because that's what's leavening your cake. The other tweak or changes that I made on this cake is that I added a little bit of baking powder. Last egg whites to add. It says add the egg whites in 3 batches, but this is a double batch, so I couldn't do it. I have way too small arms for that task. So you can see my American era can pretty much do the job. KitchenAid, your KitchenAid can. So it's a good, cheaper substitute for KitchenAid if you don't have the money to buy a KitchenAid. My KitchenAid is a little sidelined. So there, that's done. It's finished. But you have to add your flour. Make sure your baking pans are already lined at the bottom. You don't line or grease the sides when you're making sponge cakes and chiffon cakes. Just the bottom for an easy release of the cake. I sifted the cake and the yeah, baking powder a while ago. And some salt. The recipe didn't call for salt, but I added some salt. Okay, so now going to put them in baking pans. Bake it right away. My oven is already preheated. After baking the cakes, I'm supposed to turn it over like that. Turn it over on the baking sheet that I baked it with. But here's the thing, I forgot to butter the baking sheet, or your second choice is to put a cling wrap with butter, with grease. That's why the top of the cake stuck onto the baking sheet. After baking the cakes, I'm supposed to turn it over like that. Turn it over on the baking sheet that I baked it with. But here's the thing, I forgot to butter the baking sheet, or your second choice is to put a cling wrap with butter, with grease. That's why the top of the cake stuck onto the baking sheet.